Our promise to you is simple: our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle. At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions: airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online: airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online: real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations: salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents: Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner. Our promise to you is simple: our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle. At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions: airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online: airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online: real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations: salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents: Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner. Our promise to you is simple: our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle. At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions, airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online, airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online, real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations, salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple. Our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions, airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online, airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online, real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations, salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple. Our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions, airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online, airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online, real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations, salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple. Our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions, airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online, airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online, real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations, salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple. Our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions, airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online, airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online, real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, Our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations: salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple: our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions: airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online: airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online: real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand. Our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations: salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple: our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions: airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online: airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online: real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand. Our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations: salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple. Our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions, airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online, airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running online, real-time pay bills and vendors, automate bulk payments, calculate FX and manage your term deposits, all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand. Our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations, salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business. Business account, enterprise account, SME current account, personal account, current account, and savings account. Elevate by Ecobank. A female-focused and forward-thinking initiative providing advisory, training and capacity building for female entrepreneurs and women-oriented businesses. Remittances. Our Pan-African prowess. Helping you send and receive money across borders and continents. Rapid Transfer International, MoneyGram, Western Union. As your preferred financial partner.
Our promise to you is simple. Our products and services will always be tailored to your lifestyle.
At Ecobank, we believe a bank that works for you and evolves with you must also revolve around you. Our consumer products and services, taken together, add up to make a difference for you. This is how we are innovating to make banking with us a more rewarding experience for you. *326#. A smart code for your everyday transactions, airtime, transfers, bills payment and express cash. Ecobank mobile app. Do it all online, airtime, transfer, bills payment. With an easy-to-use app that feels like having our branch on your smartphone. Ecobank Pay. Shopping is easier and paying is quicker when all you have to do is scan and pay. Ecobank Cards. Reliable for shopping. Fit for your hands and wallets, familiar with your favorite stores and websites. OmniLite. Keep your business running on.
Quickly. We're about to start the program. We already have a keynote speaker in the house. So let me ask this. Just look around quickly. There's somebody that you know should be here. It's probably upstairs. Can you just do a quick call and ask? Just say, I needed you to be here. Can you do that for me quickly? Thank you. Just look around. There's a colleague that can spare. Don't worry. I mean, the work can wait for like another 30, 40 minutes. We'll get this done quickly. Just ask them to be here. I've made my own calls already. One or two people that I know will benefit from this session. Just please call them. Here we have people online. Good afternoon if you're online. Welcome to our Wellness and Intentional Living session with Betty Irabor. So I'm going to go around again. You know how I do these things. I'm just going to ask randomly what our expectations are for this session, what you would like to hear, things you would like Betty to speak on, things you would like the well-being coach to also talk about, and then we would get started. So, if you're wearing green and you're on the phone, get ready, I'm coming to you. People with green are already looking at themselves. What am I wearing? All right. Green, 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 green. I'm wearing green. There are many greens. All right, Korede. What's your expectation for today's session?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I think this session is very timely and very apt, more because I'm sure everyone has one person or the other around us suffering from some mental issue or the other. And it's important that we know how to deal with this, both with our colleagues and at home. So my expectation from this session, I expect that I would understand this much better than I do now, and I would also be able to apply to my colleagues and my relatives and friends at home. Secondly, I think it's also important, and I think that takeaway, I think, is not only for me. I expect that everybody will understand this better. You know, in Nigeria, this is something that we shy away from. We don't like to talk about it, but many of us now have people, one way or the other, suffering from mental health issues. So it will be very good if I can go away, know how I can balance my life much better than I'm doing, and how every other person can do so too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Korede. Please help put your hands together for Korede. Dabirechi, you're in green. Your expectations from today's session.
Okay, thank you, Bumi. Like Madam Korede said, this is coming at the very right time. And coming out of COVID, I think a lot of us have also had a lot of issues trying to balance what we do at home and also at work. So for me, I also want to be able to learn much more to better myself and also my family and also friends out there. Here in Africa, and especially Nigeria, we try to shy away from this. We feel sometimes is that a lot of people are actually living with mental illness, and we need to be able to talk about it, be open, and also share experiences so that friends can also learn, colleagues, and also make them much more better so that we can also grow the institution at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dabirechi. So like I said, I'm looking out for ladies and guys in green. Ibuku, your expectations from today's session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Going quickly to what my expectation, I think we work in a very high, intense environment, and one of the things we do, we go with the tempo of work, but we never slow down or stop to think through how we, the person working, is faring, or how well you're doing. So I'm expecting to hear from this session, despite the environments we work in, putting that into consideration, how well can I balance my work and my life and still be able to have a good balance of my mental state whilst we work, but also very important, how well we can consider our colleagues and what are the signs to look for if someone is under so much stress. How do we help? How do we help them get out of that process without actually labeling the people? So those are the kind of conversation that it's okay for us to know that you have a bit stressed or have a bit of a mental stress, and it's not a tag that we put on the people or stigma. That's what I'm expecting to hear, how well to go about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibuku. Can I say this? It's very important that for this session, we all relax. I don't want us to be uptight about anything. That's the only way we're going to get stuff out of this. So we want us to be real when we're having the conversations with the panelists. Clearly, a lot of us have clear expectations. But just in case you have not gotten to that point where you had an expectation before you came into the room, it's important that you have one. So I'm going to ask two men to please give us the expectations, and after that, we're going to kick off the whole session. So I'm going to give Victor the mic right now to tell us about his expectations for today's session. Victor, thank you.
Thank you, Bumi, and good afternoon, everyone. Beyond the work environment, living in Lagos and living in Nigeria comes with its own level of stress that could cause some mental discomfort or mental discomfort. And I think that a session like this will afford us the opportunity to get to understand a bit more, learn more how we can handle and manage situations on a daily basis, going to work, coming back from work, and every other thing that we get to do. So I'm expectant, looking forward to it, and hopefully we will take one or two things away from the session that will enable me to do better post today in my personal life and engagement with others. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. So I'm going to ask another gentleman this side of the hall to tell us, what's your expectation for this session? Thank you.
Okay, my name is Waluledi. Actually, my mind is open for this session. I'd like to, as much as possible, create a sponge-like mind to absorb whatever is going to come out of this. And I think I'm here to learn, and I would not be disappointed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, how many of us have seen Betty Irabor one-on-one? You've met her face-to-face before. How many in the room? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me just tell you what I've noticed. I met her for the first time today. And I can tell you this, she's a fun person. Within 3 minutes, you'll have thought we've known each other all our lives. So that's the kind of person that I would want to handle this session. And also because she has gone through stuff, so she'll be talking to us from her experience. So you'll be hearing things you probably have never heard before, and how she has dealt with what she went through and how she overcame. So we're just going to move on quickly. The session is about to start. So let me ask again. Look around, invite a colleague, send a chart, tell them they need to be in this room now. It's happening here at EPAC Center, our Wellness and Intentional Living session with Betty Irabor. So without much ado, I'm going to be inviting the head of our HR, Kunle Adewuyi, to please come up and do the necessary introductions. He'll be welcoming everybody, including our guest speakers, as we start the session. Please put your hands together for Kunle. Thank you very much.
I need to be seen very well, so I'll go on the podium. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And I want to especially welcome you to this very important session. And I'm happy that we have like 1/3 of the hall filled. What Bumi said, that we should please invite our colleagues, is very, very important, because we had an instruction at the beginning of the year to do a lot of engagements that will get people back on track. Dabereji touched on it, on what's happened to a lot of people's mental health and physical health as well. So all of us are trying to be intentional about what we eat, what we look like, how we live, but there is a major space around our mental health. So on that note, I want you to please continue to drive attendance, and for the people online, please call everyone in your branch to please minimize the screen and join us on this very important event. It's the climax of our Wellness Week. And I'm very glad to have you here. So I'll be introducing a few people. I'd like to appreciate our EXCO from the very top. I'd like to start by recognizing the ED Commercial Banking, Mrs. Carol Oyedeji. Stand up for recognition. Some people may not know Carol. Okay, and I forgot to mention, I'm being deliberate about my weight as well. I'm sure you can see some, and my haircut. So we need to look young. It makes you feel good, so your mental health is also rejuvenated. All right. And sitting next to her is the ED Risk as CRO, Mr. B. Olagbami. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then we have the head of Consumer Bank, Mrs. Korede Demola Adeni. All right. And then we have our Chief Audit Executive, Mr. Felix Igbinosa. Thank you very much, sir. My boss is looking very, very young. His wellness, the haircut, everything. And then we have the Chief Compliance Officer, Mr. Tunde Daudu. All right. And then we have the person who holds the money, who manages the money, our CFO in the hall, Mrs. Ibukun Oyedeji. Some people may not know Ibukun. Please, Ibukun, stand up for recognition and wave. Thank you. Oh, yes, I like the wellness spectacles. Thank you. Everything is about wellness. And I'd like to welcome and say thank you very much to every EXCO member who is here, every departmental head, every employee of Ecobank who's found it necessary to join us today. The treasurer told me she'll be running late a bit, and I'm sure she will soon be here with her team. So we have some very important people in the house, and I'd like to introduce them very quickly. I don't know if they are in the room already. I can see someone who looks like the picture I saw of the physical trainer, Mr. Maje Aida. Is Mr. Maje Aida in the room? Okay, so I'm sure he'll be, we're expecting him. All right, so we'll let you know when he comes in because he's one of the panelists. And then Dr. Ogbonaya Ndupo, aka Dr. Naya Ndupo. Is Dr. Naya here as well? All right, I understand they're around, they're in the building. They're in the building and they'll be joining us very shortly. So, okay, Dr. Naya is there. I'd seen her before. So please, don't stop clapping until she gets close. Not on the high table yet, not on this seat yet. Okay, so keep clapping. All right, she looks well. There's wellness around there. She's going to be sharing with us what the tools are for this radiation. Madam, I like your top. It's shining, glowing. Yes, so I'm going to be better by the time you're finished with us. All right, without much ado, I'd like to hand over back to Bumi. Or would you give me the honor of calling upstage to open this session properly, the ED Commercial Banking, Carol Oyedeji. Thank you very much. Don't stop clapping until she gets here. Thank you.
Don't worry, Kule, I'm not sure. I don't think I need to climb the podium. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, our distinguished panelists. And I believe Mrs. Irabor is in the house somewhere, right? Oh, okay. Please join us. Can we? I think when we're introducing her to the high table, the Bumi will do a much more appropriate invitation. Okay, that's fixed. So thank you. So welcome, dear colleagues, our keynote speaker, Mrs. Irabor, the panelists, and I believe the professional fitness instructor is yet to be here, but we welcome, everyone. I'm glad to see that those that are invited have joined. I didn't force anyone. But to be honest, I think it's good to actually just, yourselves when it comes to issues around health and well-being. So please, like Bumi has said, do reach out to your colleagues. It's so good that we are ending this week with this sort of session. And I plan to actually, derive a lot of value from it. I'll just request everyone, please be attentive to what you would hear at this session. I had a very interesting meeting with Mrs. Irabor about 2 weeks ago. Very interesting one. And I think within that session, she was it was a very short interaction, but she was able to explain to me just how important it was for us to really, really, focus on our mental health. Very important. She gave me her book. She autographed it. But to cut a long story short, I was rushing for about around 5, 6, so a long time on the road between, and then Lagos traffic. But when I started reading the book in the car, 5:30, and it was really courageous of her. By the time you read that book, the challenge that she had. So please try and pick up, a copy of that book and read through it. And like I said, I think we're fortunate to have someone in her personality, take us through this kind of program. I think we shouldn't try and kid ourselves. A lot of people go through all kinds of things, all kinds of struggles, all kinds of mental health issues. And we keep everything bottled up just because of fears around what I'll probably term maybe social judgment or something like that. But in honest fact, right, we need to, share some of these things with people so that at least we are not judged the way we shouldn't be judged. So we need to just understand that there's help out there for everyone. Also, I think it was Ibuku that mentioned it. We're bankers. You understand? We live a very stressful life. Very stressful life. And there's a lot of burnout. If we are not careful, right, to learn to balance things, we will have challenges ourselves. In every session that's, similar to this in the past, I'm sure you've always heard me talk about balance. So work is very important. Don't kid yourself, it's very important, but you have to create spaces in your life for things that are equally as important. Your faith, your family, your friends. Whether you like it or not, this work will end one day. We don't leave this place. I mean, there's a time and season for everything. Nothing is permanent. So we don't live here. And when we live here, is it the family that we have ignored that we want to go back to? Or the friends? Do we want to start battling health issues after we retire? Instead of us to be, running around and taking care of our grandchildren? So guys, please, let's be slightly selfish with ourselves when it comes to issues around mental health, overall well-being, self-care. So please, right, let's try and just really take out as much as possible as we can from this program and ensure that at least, when we go back to our various spaces, we are telling ourselves, I have a new way of looking at life, and I would ensure that I take care of myself more properly. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Carol. So without much ado, I'm going to be inviting Kunle again to please invite our keynote speaker to the floor. Kunle, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bumi. Don't worry, this is the last bit I'm going to do. Bumi will take it from here, just in case you're tired of sitting. All right, let's give a very hot Pasha to Carol Oyedeji. All right, so we'll do the Pasha thing together. Pasha. Madam, you have to learn. Pasha, 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 Toma! It helps my mental health. Okay. All right. Now, I'd like to say thank you to Carol again, now talking about an email she shot into my box and afterwards copied Jide Shikwe, sharing a flyer with us about 3 months ago, and said, Kunle, I think we can do something around this. And said, Jide, please work with Kunle, let's see what we can do. And after about a week or two, we got a young lady into the room, who was 6 of us, 5 Ecobankers, and the guest. She came alone. And after 15 minutes of having a discussion with her, I didn't want her to stop. It was very real. It was touching on some personal things. It was touching on some people who I knew needed to hear that. And as head of HR, something rang in my head. So how many people come to Ecobank building across Africa, across Nigeria for starters, every day, bottling this kind of issues, dealing with this kind of issues, and we don't know about it. They don't know that they can ask for help. They don't even know who to talk to. So Carol says not be too selfish about it, but talking to the right people is also what I want to preach. And that's an avenue for us to actually get healed over time and nip the problems in the bud. So ladies and gentlemen, the person told me our age, Daddy, and I said, what? Then I said, good afternoon, Ma. All right. With this, and then I got a book from her as well, this particular lady I'm talking about. I got a book from her. I'm not as fast a reader as Carol, so it took me 2 weeks to read the book. I'm not as busy as the ED, but you know. All right, so I took it kidogo, kidogo, the Swahilis would say. I took it small, small, and someone took the book from my table, and about a week ago, not knowing that we're going to be doing this today, I said, where is my book? No, the one with the, oh, then she went and she fetched it and she brought it to me. I said, what do you want? She said, no, I've not finished reading it, sir. I said, please return it as soon as I finish reading it. So she dropped it on my table. When you finish with it, I'll take it back. So I also want to encourage everybody to grab a copy of that book. I'm not advertising. It's something that has helped me. And if Carol is also confirming that it's helped her, and I think one day maybe we'll be able to buy it online so you don't have to carry the hard copy. You can read it anywhere you go. With this short introduction of mine, I hope, I'd like to bring upstage the lady who I met, Mrs. Betty Irabor. Thank you very much, man. You're welcome. Oh, you remember that? They're doing very well. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Ndupu. At the last stage of my battle with depression, after I had seen over 8 therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, I had given up. I said to my husband, I'm not doing this anymore. And he said to me in a very, very gentle way, there's this lady on radio, Inspiration, who presents, who has a radio show, and she talks about depression and mental illness. And I said, no, I've seen so many. I'm tired. I had become a lab rat. I was on several medications, some of which triggered depression, triggered suicide, ideation. And at that time, I was really willing to let depression take me to where it was taking me. And my husband said to me, do me this favor, this last favor. Go see Dr. Ndupu. And with I don't really care attitude, I decided to go see this lady. She doesn't like being dragged out, but I brought her out. I said, you know, we all need the visibility. So I'm sitting in front of Dr. Naya, and she's pretending she doesn't know who I was. And that for me was a great thing. I'd seen so many psychiatrists before then who, as soon as I come in and they say to me, you know that celebrity lady, what do you have to be depressed about? And I remember one doctor, one psychiatrist saying to me, okay, I remember when I saw you in This Day newspaper, I said to my wife, that woman looks depressed. I'm like, Oshe? Oshe? You are saying to me what I already know, my insecurities, my battles. And I had seen myself in several magazines where I hated myself. I had gone from a size 10 to a size 2. I was haggard, I was old, I was gray and ashen. And you are my psychiatrist. You are the one. You're the one supposed to give me hope. And I sit down, and you say to me, yes, I told my wife when I saw you in This Day. And you know, the funny thing, I knew the edition he was talking about because it took me almost 1 month to come out of that mold of thinking, is that really me? And you're my psychiatrist. You're telling me that. And the ones that have said, are you not Sonny Rabor's wife? What do you have to be depressed about? Aren't you happily married? And I had seen all sorts. The ones that judged me, the ones that felt I was too accomplished to be depressed, the ones that told me that, Moyo, you know, and the ones that say, you're too pretty to be depressed. These are all forms of stigma and judgment. So I'm sitting in front of Dr. Ndupu, hating myself and hating the fact that once again, I have to see a psychiatrist. So I'm sitting in front of her, hating her and hating myself. And she totally pretends she doesn't know who I was. And it was great because from my face to my mind, the last thing I wanted to be known or seen as was this celebrity. I hated that tag. I hated everything. I hated the world. So she has this smile. Dr. Ndubu has this smile. Sometimes we don't celebrate people enough, especially when they've played roles in our lives, because maybe we think that in celebrating them, we're losing something ourselves. I know people talk about lighting another woman's candle and all that, but I'm not selling her to you because you may never need her, but you may need her. So be nice to her. So she's looking at my medication. I could pass for a pharmacist. Had medications, upon medications, because most of the psychiatrists were like, shut up, take this medication, swallow it, you'll be fine. And sometimes I'm just starting to tell you how I'm feeling, and then you're already scribbling. You're not interested in me. You don't care about me. And it's always like, not another one. Dr. Ndupu sat with me, mentored me, coached me, and was able to wean me from the self-harming medication. And gradually, like two friends, we began the journey to my healing. I give first and foremost all glory to God. Then my husband, Sonny. There was no psychiatric hospital we didn't go together. He made time for me. I went through depression that lasted over 10 years. And standing before you like this is a woman who God has purpose for her life. And that is the only reason that I think I'm here. Second chance. We do not appreciate second chances enough. But I have learned to also look inwards. How did a woman who at 46, 19 years ago, started a publication, a lifestyle magazine that impacted many women, who was so sure of herself, how did I go from that woman who loved other women, who told stories, who felt good about herself? How did I go from that woman to the woman who several times was saved from dying by suicide? How? And there are many people like that. We are many. Because outwardly, I was fine. For us now, makeup, pink, lipstick. But in there, volcano waiting to erupt. And we don't see it. And then you could just be the trigger. I've stepped out of my house in courage because my husband said, Betty, get away from under the duvet. Because then, don't pull me out of under the duvet. Don't open the blinds. Let me be. I loved that moment where I was not accountable to anyone. Sometimes 4 days, no bath. I was like, yes. Nobody could come and trouble me to be accountable because She wasn't well. How did I become that woman? I'll tell you how I became that woman. I'm living my life intentionally now. And I'm selecting my battles. And I'm comfortable with the woman I've stopped allowing those things that defined me then to stop defining me now. I do no longer have identity crisis. Genevieve put a lot of pressure on me. At 46, I wanted to do Genevieve for 1 year, 2 years. I had a good life. I had a good job. I was working with my husband. I was comfortable. I was happy. Then I felt, when I die today, what will people remember me for? As Sonny's wife? Oh, of course I was Sonny's wife. Oh, that's Betty. She's Sonny's wife. You know, and I'm happy. Always will be, and always be grateful that I'm Sonny's wife. Next year, together, we do our renewal of vows as we mark 40 years together. It's an amazing life. It's because I have a partner who, although he didn't understand the nature of my illness, he was there just saying the right things or knowing when not to say the right things. So back to Genevieve. I said to my friends that I was in an abusive relationship with Genevieve. You know that? I was afraid of people. I was afraid of their judgment. Every time I stepped out, someone is willing to say, you have lost weight. I know we're so used to people telling us we have gained weight, but you have lost weight. It's a no. It's not a conversation starter. Neither is you have put on weight a conversation starter. Have you gone darker? It's not a conversation starter. Are you pregnant yet? Are you getting married? Have you had another child? Please, you do not know how on the edge people are. And all you need to do is just say what they don't want to say. I went to church after maybe 1 year of not talking to God. Because I said, God, stay on your own. Let me stay on my own. Because you can't like it to GRA. This woman actually thought I was on a weight loss diet. I looked at her and I looked at my sorry self. And for about 4 months, I didn't step out again. But she never knew. Because I never went back to say, madam, you know. But she just like, we all do these things. That promotion, sorry, you got bypassed. But you're not saying it in a nice way. Some of us put on belly fat. It's not your business to say about Siloyo because you don't know how many IVFs have failed. You don't know that. And because you're not a safe place, people can't come to you. You're not a safe place. People say to me all the time, if I tell her, she will tell 10 people. First and foremost, we don't need to worry about people telling 10 people. Because you didn't bring this upon yourself. You're ill. It's called mental illness. Do you hide when you have diabetes, high blood pressure, you sprain your ankle, you've had migraine, or things like that? So until we begin to change the narrative and we begin to destigmatize and normalize the conversation on mental health through events such as this, we're still going to have so many people dying. We've heard people who we thought were successful, and the next thing they're no longer here. But you don't know. It's okay that you don't know, but do not. I think we need to begin to watch some of the conversations we have with people. Some people, the fact that you said, have you done DACA? When their main problem is the fact that they feel they are dark. You may think, it's me. Who would think that have you lost weight will trigger me? But I didn't look good. I'd gone from a size 10 to size 2. So I wasn't looking good. So, but for you now to assume that I am on a weight loss program was what broke me. So going back to Genevieve, I was trying to please everybody, people pleaser. I didn't know my own strength. I didn't know my limitation. I kept pushing and pushing. You know, hashtag strong woman, hashtag hero with our cape. Please, I don't want to be strong. I just want to be me, authentic and vulnerable. If I'm looking too strong, please get worried. You know, if I don't cry when I should cry, if I feel if I have it all, please worry about me. I don't want to be that strong woman. So the journey started gradually. Diagnosis, that took forever. Oh, it's malaria. Oh, it's pressure. There is nothing they won't blame malaria for in this world. You know? So the back and forth before I was finally diagnosed with clinical depression. And then the journey started. The journey of misdiagnosis, the journey of self-hate, the journey of blame, the journey of playing victim. I started acting irrational. I would go to work. I would call a meeting. Then I'll be afraid of my staff. I would rush back home. Even in the office, there will be the voice. I battled with the voice forever. Even, you know, when you see people on Third Mainland Bridge trying to jump in, I can tell you, I've been on that bridge and the voice has said to me, now is your chance. This is the moment. But if you know that someone you're close to is going through something, you probably know better than to tell their drivers that if she tells you to stop on this bridge, don't. So I was literally on a suicide watch as well. So it went on and on. I think depression humbles you. It messes with your mind. It messes with your reality. There's nothing anyone can say to you that you are a very accomplished woman. You don't see that. You're a very successful woman. You don't see that because you're a ball of negativity. Then it came to, what do I do with my story? The biggest secret, not wanting people to know that I, Betty Irabor, publisher of Genevieve, that I went through this thing that people do not understand, that people brand what they want to brand. When I started writing the book, I felt very vulnerable. I felt, I don't want people to know this part of me. I want people to still see me and see me as strong. But I had the courage and I wrote my book. Full disclosure. Several suicide attempts, battling with depression, going to the psychiatric hospital. Nothing humbles you more than when you have to go to that Yaba left. But that was still okay because I was seeing a psychiatrist there upstairs. I would go in, I would come back. But I think the most humbling was in Dubai, Iranian hospital in Dubai. So I was in the Department of Psychiatry. So I was sitting down there, and Betty Irabor. Like, can you not whisper? Can you not go, Betty Irabor? I'm already there. But you know, in Dubai, nobody knew me. But even the fact that, you go to Kidikok, you know, they even said I was from Niger, which was fine. Betty Irabor from Niger. So I'm upstairs at the Department of Psychiatry. And there are about 4 of us. When it was my turn, I had all my medication. And I went in and I saw the psychiatrist. It was like Santa Claus, you know, very genial, very friendly, very warm. And the first thing he said to me was that when you begin, as I came in, he said to me, he looked at me, he must have seen the brokenness. He said, don't worry, when you start to sleep, he made gesticulation because I had wrinkles from here to here. So it was like, when you begin to sleep, you see, your face will light up, you'll be better. At that, I just burst out. I cried because how was he to know that one of my insecurities was the fact that I hated what I looked like? Back home, when I was still trying to go to events, just to pretend I was well, I will hold my magazine or I will hold my brochure like this and I will dodge the red carpet. When my book was launched, some of the photographers who came up to the lawn said, now we understand why you used to cover your face. You know, as I wrote on a post on LinkedIn, makeup cannot hide trauma. You cannot put a band-aid on a wound that needs surgery. There are many people walking around broken, bruised, scarred. But you have to accept that you are broken. You need help. You can be fixed. You can be fixed. There's help. And please, if it's the stigma that is keeping you away, let me tell you, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. There is nothing. And like when I went into depression, people know more about it, and there are more therapists and more psychiatrists. So this book does to you is me in my most vulnerable, but in my most authentic, sharing my story. It's my story. I choose to share it. You can't shame the shameless. By the time you call somebody, there was the time Betty was going to commit suicide. It's in her book, A Minimum of One. I'm the one that told you. So how is the gist? How is the gist? So I left the psychiatric hospital in Dubai, feeling better, that someone understood. I went on a health retreat in a place called Kettering in England. But one thing I realized is that when we're looking for escape, we're going on vacation, sometimes we go everywhere with the cancer because it has not been treated. So when people say to you, maybe you should travel, no, you need to heal first because wherever you go, you're taking this cancer with you, whatever the cancer is. Some of the things that we lean on are temporary crutches. We have to fix us. We have to identify the problems, you know, and I feel very, very sad for men who are going through depression or any form of mental illness. So difficult for them. It's so difficult for them. Society has programmed them in such a way that they're supposed to be strong. They're supposed to, are you not a man? Be a man. He's lost his wife. He's lost his money. And you're telling him to be a man. And because most men are not in a relationship where they can be vulnerable and open with their other half for one reason or the other, they bottle it because it's affecting their ego, their masculinity is called to question. So when you have a partner, even as an HR executive, if a man comes to you, you have to try as much as possible to hear him out because it's very difficult. Society has programmed men like that. If we as women are even embarrassed to share our state of our mental health, imagine he's the head of the family. He's supposed to be the head of the family, but he's just lost his job. You know, are you a safe place? Can I come to you and expect that you give me some hope? Or are you going to tell me, I don't know how you people get depressed. I can never be depressed. And people, yeah, someone said that to me when initially when I was like, I don't know how you people get depressed. I can never get depressed. I felt really weak. But I know better now. I have embraced me. I've made peace with my younger self. I am not a victim of any of the circumstances that happened in my life that I didn't have a control over. So wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, please try and make peace with yourself because there are some things that need closure. And until you address those issues, you're just going to be tossed there, and you'll never find the healing that you need. Coming out of depression required a lot of intentionality. You know, me embracing life. I went back to reading my Bible. I went back to God. I'm like, hey, God, hi, we're friends now. But I can tell you one thing for sure. There was no therapist that could have brought me out of depression if I wasn't willing. It starts from you being ready. And most times we're not ready because we have not addressed the issues. Sometimes it's because we haven't found someone to walk us, to take us on a journey of recovery. We all must recover. I remember for my 60th birthday, you know, I was looking forward, like, wow, I'm actually alive to celebrate 60. That was 5 years ago. So I am not going to say that, I'm not going to outsource my life, my new life, my second chance to anybody. Apart from God, it was me. Me deciding, you know what? I want my life back. I'm done with the self-pity. I'm done with... People were walking around me like eggshells because if they were happy, I felt, why should you be happy? So it's a whole lot of journey. But the important thing that I want you to know is that mental illness can be treated. It can be treated. Please be open about your status. Talk to people. Let them know how you're feeling. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Actually, opening up has gotten me more speaking engagements. It wasn't the intention anyway. But I'm living my best life, and I'll just share some nuggets about, you know, as I said, these were the steps I took intentionally. I made peace with my past and then forgave everyone, including myself. There's no future without forgiveness. Desmond Tutu. 2, I began to learn new healthy habits, starting with my thoughts. Oh, I had negative thoughts. I thought very little of myself. I had insecurities. I couldn't celebrate myself. If someone gave me a compliment, I'm like, she's laughing at me. Now you give me a compliment, I take it, I hug it. So your thought pattern, what are you thinking? Your mindset. Your mindset. It's very important that you change the negative thoughts that you have about yourself and other people. I embarked on a mindset makeover. I had programmed my mind to see and believe the worst. I had to change that. I stopped feeding my insecurities. I stopped feeding my insecurity. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I know that now for sure. I worked on my toxic self-conversations. Most of us have nothing but negative things to say about ourselves. It's the same way when we sit with foreigners and we talk about Nigeria. Just talk, we never say anything good about Nigeria. I learned to accept that I'm not infallible. I confronted my people-pleasing tendency. I was like a child who was lost. I wanted everybody to like me, to accept me, to approve of me. No way, not anymore. Perfectionism was a trait I had to readdress because perfectionism sets you up for failure. That's Joyce Meyer. We can't be perfect. Life is a journey. We're all on that journey. When you are perfect, it means you've stopped growing. You've stopped elevating. You've stopped evolving. Gratitude is like a joy pill. I learned to be grateful for every small and big milestone. I learned to set boundaries. That's very important. I embraced my perfect imperfections. I was intentional about keeping appointments with my therapist, and I stopped self-medication. I discovered my safe place, and relished every moment of self-discovery. I embraced a healthier lifestyle. I stopped feeling guilty that I was ill. That's how I became to talk about intentional living. Everything I do now is with intention. I don't go where I am not wanted. I don't want more than life has for me. I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy, and I'm not out to please anybody. I have too much of that. Don't like me, I can live with it. You like me, thank you very much. So that's my journey to well-being, to intentional living, and to being unapologetically Betty. I love you. Thank you. Hey, my Jane. Thank you. I was going to say, thank you. Is this for you, Lori?
Pardon me, I was going to say we can do better than that. Can we please put our hands together one more time for Betty Irabor? Thank you very much. Thank you. She has said so much, and you would agree with me, she spoke from the heart. Yes. So we're going to start the panel session. I'm going to be inviting Betty back on stage and then two other amazing people on stage to join her as we go through the panel session. Please, Betty. Dr. Gonaya. Maji. Thank you. Can I please have mics for everybody? Please clap for them. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to start this time around. I'm not going to do ladies first, so it doesn't appear as if we're being. So I have with us Maji Ayida. Is a Nigerian well-being coach and CEO of award-winning health and fitness brand Eden Lifestyle. Maji, can you please tell us more about yourself?
Thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Auntie Betty, that was amazing. Amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. As introduced, I'm a wellness coach. I provide wellness services to companies in the form of EAP programs. That's assistant employee programs. And the idea is to take care of employees' mental health and well-being. We provide therapy services to companies, usually telephonic. And what I've found in Nigeria is that most of the companies that we end up dealing with are the multinationals that have to globally purchase these services. So there is work to be done as far as companies go. We are trying to teach management how to take care of their staff and teaching staff how to take care of themselves. There are reasons for this, which hopefully I'll get into, but that's basically what I do. I'm also a fitness coach. We provide fitness services because one thing I've learned on my journey is that exercise is the perfect way to access the mind, leverage the body to get to the mind. So that's what I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Maji. Okay, and then we have Dr. Gonaya. You've heard so much about her from Betty already. So I'm going to ask Doctor, can you please tell us more about yourself aside from what Betty has said?
I really don't have to say anything anymore, you know, like she said. But good afternoon to everyone. Like you already know, Dr. Nayan Dupu. I run a show on inspiration as far back as when Ebola, yes, on mental wellness, Mind Clinic with Dr. Naya. And beyond being a psychiatrist, I'm sure a lot of you understand what that means. I'm first a medical doctor who specialized in mental health. I'm also a psychologist. And based on my background, I understand the need to have this shifts away from just treating mental illnesses to prevention, to positive health. And in recent times, that's what the focus had been. Why do I have to wait for a bank to call me in for an aggressive staff when we could have prevented this, when we could have prioritized their mental health even before they developed complications? That's the mental health disorder. And so, what else about me? I'm a mother. I'm also the medical director at Life Crest Hospital in Lekki. And I do a few other things, more of mental health awareness, advocacy, and a lot of mental health talks, both in the corporate space, churches, just to create mental health awareness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And we know we have Betty with us. So before we go ahead, I just want to say we have over 200 people online, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and on Teams. I just want to say, please be a part of this session. If you have questions to ask, drop those questions on the chat box. If you're on Teams, if you're on Instagram, just drop it as well, and we'll find a way to ask our panelists. Thank you. So let's move on ahead quickly. So I'm going to be asking Doctor this question. How do we prevent? You said something very critical. We should not wait till when you are called in that we have an aggressive staff. How do we, as an organization, prevent this from happening? What are the things we should look out for to avoid falling into this situation?
Okay, thank you for that question. A good place to start with was creating awareness. Every time I find that a lot of organizations, they prioritize physical health. Oh, I have blood pressure, I have DM, that's diabetes. They give you a sick leave, you are off work. But when it comes to mental illness, it's invisible. And let me tell you why. It's invisible because, like Auntie B says, it starts with the mind, your thoughts. Trust me, because I'm in that space. I need to spend less than 5 minutes with you and I know what is wrong with you, just based on our interaction. And it's invisible because it starts with your thought process. It will probably take a professional to pick that out. So even before it gets physical, where you begin to see inappropriate behavior, irrational behavior, a lot has gone down. Why do we need EAPs? Why are EAPs not talking about mental wellness? They are focused on other things. And I think for every organization, we need to do more than, okay, you have deliverables, you have this, you have that, you have targets. You know how we do it in the workplace. And show a bit of empathy, show a bit of support. Think about it like this. If I prioritize your mental health, if I mandate everyone who works in Ecobank and say, we are not saying you have a problem, but monthly, we are making available the services. We are not interested as HR on your individual, you understand what I mean? But you give people an opportunity to express themselves. That's where we are able to pick up the signs early. So it's not about me coming to work. Sometimes the workload, sometimes burnout sets in. There are serious reasons beyond the work. You don't know what my dynamics are at home. You don't know if I'm in an abusive relationship. But at the end of the day, all you people care about is being the best staff of the month. But you don't know the battles I face daily. So, as a professional who's been in this space long enough, prevention is going to the roots. Auntie B may be seated with me and she had been presented by her company. And we are able to pick the likelihood of developing a mental illness before it starts, based on the things she's able to open up and talk about. And you see, a lot of people are misled. We have this negative concept about psychiatry. Till date, when they say Dr. Ndupu is a psychiatrist, God forbid, my case has not gotten like that. I still deal with that. It's not my portion. It's very... I still have people who codedly come into my DM, who codedly come to my office, and I'm like, this day and age, like seriously. And you know, Auntie B said something. Depression or any mental health illness is no respecter. Is no respecter. It humbles you. Drive the best cars. I've seen them all. And then you're saying, Dr. Ndupu, I have no problem in life. What is wrong with me? Regardless of your age, regardless of your socio-economical status. So if we understand that, you know that, how can I help my people to be productive? You'll be amazed how their productivity will turn around. As you as executives, you're not interested in the nitty-gritty. Spare yourself all that. Send them for appropriate, yes. That mental health, you know, I said something about psychiatry. People just think, oh, when you ask the layman, and it's those people down the street. And I say, mad. I say, what do people mean by mad? Those people that used to walk around dead. I said, no. Mental health is just a medical term that explains everything about psychology. Every time you think about psychiatry, mental health, depending on the term you want to use, it's all about how am I thinking? How am I feeling before it starts reflecting in my behavior? Two things are happening. My think system, my feelings, that begins to reflect. If we can take care of the thinking and the feeling, we are not likely to see behavioral issues. So if we understand that, we will stop creating unnecessary stigma as relates to mental health. We all seated here and looking good. This is a bank. I've had banks call me in. And every time I hear somebody was irrational in the office, my first question is, who are they reporting to? Who is their supervisor? This person did not slap a supervisor overnight. The signs were there. But nobody was listening. You're irritable. Emails are not, you're not responding. Very simple things. You're not responding to emails. You're coming late. You're looking a bit unkempt. You're snapping at people. That's a sign something is going wrong. And sadly, in this part of the world, we would rather attribute it to, you know what we say, village people. And you see, and do you know why they do that? Because that's a safe place for them. The same way they were attributed to spiritual issues. It's stigma that is causing that. That's why you will not say, oh, I'm seeing a psychiatrist. So you would rather, Dr. Ondupu, that psychiatrist is too big. Let's use the small one that you are, psychologist. It's a soft landing for a lot of people. But we don't really care what term you need to use. We need to do more, because at the end of the day, that's productivity for the organization. There's less staff turnover. A happy staff makes a great company. And you see, beyond the organizations, our involvement, how much we care for the next person. She said something. Sometimes all people need is someone who, like I always say, sometimes you just need to shut up and listen. Yes, and I mean it that way. You find that you're trying to reach out to someone and they begin to dismiss what you're talking about. Trust me, every time you hear someone committed suicide, they have tried to reach out to someone. They have showed that sign, but people just, is it not depression? All of us have depression. I hear people say that. No, not in that context. Depression is not sadness. Depression is not that I did not get an alert. No, it's beyond that. So that name has been abused before people. So as simple as that, you don't need to be a professional. If you can't be that, have a system in place. Make it mandatory, because you know a lot of people are still dealing with stigma. You'll be amazed at the returns. You'll be amazed at the feedbacks you will get. Thank you.
Doctor? Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Us to avoid the burnout and falling into a state of having these challenges?
Okay, thank you. Good question, actually. The reason I'm a fitness coach, actually, is purely because exercise is something that I grew up with. I grew up doing. and it's just a part of my life. And living in Nigeria, I saw that it wasn't something that was a priority in the environment. Exercise was just something that only maybe the rich people did. Most people didn't have time. Most people don't have time for exercise. And how this affects the workplace is, let me give you some WHO stats that just came out. 2 billion workdays are lost annually, globally. 2 billion workdays. Anyone in HR in this room will know how many paid sick days people have. How many people are actually sick? Or how many people are just feeling down today? I'm just down. I don't feel like coming to work. I can't come to work for whatever the unknown reasons are. So the point is, exercise is directly connected to your mental health. It is proven biologically. Okay, so combine that with a nation that is not active enough. And what you have is the hard reality is that we have a very low life expectancy. The life expectancy of Nigerians, of the average Nigerians, is too low. I just turned 50. So, thank you. Thank you. So I'm there. I'm at that point where my life expectancy should be coming to an end, but I flat refuse by being intentional about my activity. And what companies, banks, organizations are not doing is being intentional about the activity of their staff. How many of you think that you can take up to 10,000 steps a day walking around every day? Do you measure it? Show of hands, you measure it, right? I know you measure it, but do you hit it? That's the thing. Do you hit your targets? Okay. Some. But by the show of hands in this room, it's still too low. That's just the point. We're not active enough. And not being active leads to a whole host of lifestyle diseases that I cannot even begin to mention. But the most severe of all, and the one that claims our lives the most, hypertension. The silent killer. Do you know that if you go for, and please you can back me up on this, if you go for treatment for mental health, one of the first things that are recommended to you is exercise. The body releases a hormone, endorphins, that is just as powerful as antidepressants. Okay? Just as powerful as pills that they would give you. So, we're not being active enough. And why this is important. In fact, you know what? We've been sitting too long. So please, maybe you could indulge me. Could you all stand up? Everybody stand up. We've been sitting for way too long. I need the blood flowing. Okay? So just shake your legs out. Good. Shake your arms out. Let's get the blood flowing. Let's get back in there. Okay, so now I want you to put your arms out just like this, okay? And just make little circles. Just make little circles. You're just going to do this for like 40 seconds, okay? Little circles. Good. Lovely. With both arms if you can. Good. Change direction. Now start going forward. Excellent. Feel it. Feel it. Good. This is a simple motion. Are you feeling it in your shoulders? Shoulders are hurting a little bit? Good. Few more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and stop. Please sit down. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. How do you feel? Back in the business, right? Blood is flowing a little bit. There's a reason I did that. There are 2 reasons I did that, actually. Okay? First reason is I want to show you just how easy it is to challenge yourself with just your body weight. Just by a little movement. All right? Just a little movement. And being the kind of people that we are, in terms of in this kind of work environment, you spend most of your time sitting at your desk. Most of your time being sedentary. So I know how hard it is to hit those steps every day. You probably go to the gym periodically, but that does not make up for a sedentary day. Okay? It does not. So you have to make those changes. And I just wanted to show you how easy it was to challenge yourself. But there's a second side of this, okay? Real quick. Just towards the end, those last few seconds of waving your arms around, what were you thinking about? Can I ask somebody? Let me ask you, Auntie Betty, what were you thinking about? You just wanted it to end, right? Like, oh boy, my shoulder is paining me. How long longer are we doing this for? Why are we doing this? Please stop. I'm sure a lot of you were thinking that as well. Like, okay, this is nice, but can we sit down now? Okay, shoulders are hurting. But the point is, you weren't thinking about tomorrow. You weren't thinking about yesterday. You weren't thinking about what problems you might be having. You were not thinking about what your stressors are. A few of you are sitting in this room, and I'm sure are stressed. And the body is showing signs of stress. But is there anything stressful happening in this room? It's a nice room, good lights, AC is blowing. You have no reason to be feeling stressed, right? But you might be stressed. Financial challenges. There might be issues in your relationships. There might be challenges, health challenges with your children maybe. Whatever the case may be, there are things going on. But in those few seconds, you're not thinking about the future, where usually anxiety resides. You're not thinking about the past. You're in the present moment. And that's what exercise does. It brings you into the present moment. And anyone who's treating depression, especially with somebody who's spiraling, they try to bring them into the present moment. Okay? Identify things around you. Maybe something you can see, maybe something you could smell, maybe a sound you can hear. Anything to bring you into the present moment so you're not unpacking and living in the future or in the past where your issues may reside. That is what exercise does. For me, I use it, as I stated at the beginning, to leverage the body to get to the mind, because the mind is where it is. The mind is where the action is. I'm tired of mental health being stigmatized. I have spent the last 10 years having mental health conversations. And let me give you a little brief history about mental health in Nigeria and how it's viewed and how it's treated. In 1916, okay, 1916, that's how far back it was, a mental health bill was passed called the Lunacy Ordinance. Lunacy Ordinance. Madness. Okay? This was reformed in 1958 into the Regional Lunacy Act. And the main change that happened was that the courts, magistrates, and doctors were given the power to detain people suffering from mental illness. That's the end of the story. 1958. These are the rules that we are under today in 2022. Under the 1958 Regional Lunacy Act that views mental illness as madness. When you walk into the hospital, when you walk into primary health care, is there a department for mental health? Is there a department for depression? No, there isn't. So, it's up to us. It's up to you. And as much as I like the fact that we are having this conversation, the fact that Ecobank is dealing with a day for mental health, I mean, it could make me cry because I've dedicated my life to this. But it's not enough. It's not enough. I see companies, they do this. They'll have a wellness day where they'll do a nice walk. I think one of the first walks I did was with you, Genevieve walk, right? Mm-hmm. They go for a walk. And that's it, a walk. And everybody goes back to the lifestyle. It's unfortunate. So how do we change it? How do companies change this? You have to lead people on the journey. You have to create incentives for people to exercise, to take care of themselves, and to be able to seek help. We need to stop shaming the mental health side of things and start taking care of each other. Be your brother's keeper. 1 in 4 Nigerians is dealing with some form of mental illness. 1 in 4. 1 in 8 is dealing with severe depression. Our suicide rates are too high. Everyone in here knows somebody somewhere that has lost their lives too early to this. So we are dealing with a health crisis. It's not just a conversation. This is a health crisis that we have to pull ourselves out of. So when I say hit 10,000 steps a day, it's not just, because it's nice and I'll feel good. It's about survival. It's about saving your life. So you do it with intent, intentionally. You wake up in the morning, the same discipline that you apply to have gotten you to where you are, to be sitting in this room, is the same discipline you have to apply to your health. Because when your health fails, be it mentally or physically, nothing else matters, right? Whatever issues you're dealing with do not matter anymore. Let me tell you something else. I'm sorry if I'm taking time, but this is what I do. During the pandemic, I had a situation. Okay? It's personal. And since Auntie Betty shared a story, I'm going to share a story. Because of, I'm very physical, I'm very active. Okay? And around the February, right before the pandemic kicked off, I had a back injury that immobilized me. I couldn't walk. And the pandemic was just starting. And one of the initiatives that we came up with was to do virtual school fitness, because the first thing that went was the schools, right? Kids were suddenly at home. So I started doing virtual fitness for children to keep them active. Parents were like, thank you, thank you. Gave the kids something to do. But each time that I did the live sessions, you remember that, Felix? I was doing these live sessions, I would collapse and crawl back to my bed in pain and agony. My back was a problem. And I thought I'd injured it in sports. I went to see the doctor. I went to see an orthopedic doctor. He said, yes, you've displaced the disc, so therefore you need physiotherapy, so on and so forth. And I'm like, okay. I went for an x-ray. I started seeing a physiotherapist. 3 months went by. I wasn't getting any better. I was still in pain. I called my sister, who's a doctor. In the UK, I said, I'm in pain. I call my sister for anything, by the way. You have a doctor in the family, this is what you do. And I called her, I'm like, I'm in pain, this is not going away. She goes, go get a second opinion, but go somewhere else. And I did. And they told me that I had kidney stones, not back pain, kidney stones, and severe kidney stones. One was actually blocking my bladder. And if I stayed for a few more weeks in this condition, I was going to have a problem. We are now deep in pandemic, lockdown, everyone is at home, and I needed surgery. So, fortunately for me, and I thank my parents for this, I have a dual citizenship. I was able to get an emergency flight, go to the UK, see a specialist, and have surgery while I was on the recovery table coming out of anesthetic from surgery. By the way, I'm not even going into the mental side of this journey, because fear was a problem. I know a lot of people that have gone for surgery and have not come back, right? Surgery is not easy. No matter how small it is, it's a risk. And I was just full of fear because I was looking at my career slipping. I couldn't be active. I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. But that's another battle. However, I was on the recovery table. Coming out of anesthetic, there was a complication. There was a clot. And I woke up screaming. I woke up in pain. But I was able to articulate the pain to the surgeon, who was able to deal with it on the spot. So afterwards, I come out of hospital, I go see the surgeon, like a couple of days out of hospital, and I said, what happened that day? What happened? I mean, was that really something that was it almost the end? Was that it? He goes, I'll be honest with you, it was a real complication. You could not have survived, actually. You're very fortunate. But you know what saved you? Because you're strong. Because you exercise. That's it. So when I say 10,000 steps, when I say be intentional about your exercise, when I say really be intentional about your mindset and the way you look at it and the perspective of it in terms of prioritizing it and making it important and making it be disciplined about it, okay? When I say all these things, it is really just to give yourself the best chance at this life, because everything about this life is trying to take you down. Lagos is a pot of stress trying to take you down on a daily basis. And it's not going to change. It's not going to change. So you must be intentional about it. A lot of guys in here I can see are my age mates, right? Or younger. But I work out and I play sports with guys younger than me. I'm active like anybody else. I feel pains like anybody else, all right? But that's not because I'm special. It's just because I'm intentional. When I wake up in the morning, I look at life, I look at whatever it's going to throw at me, and a lot of people are reactionary. Their mood depends on what they meet through the day. Their mood in the workspace depends on what they meet through the day. Things that can't be measured, right? The soft skills, your empathy, your kindness, your humility, your ability to work with others. These things cannot be measured when people are being employed. You can't put it on your CV. Also, I have empathy on my CV. It can't be measured. So you find out. That's when you know that people have good skills, but there are some, people that are not okay. There's some angry people out there. Very angry. Just go out into the streets of Lagos. Look at the traffic around you. It's there. On the journey here, you see at least 3 arguments on the roadside. People fighting. I've seen people come out of their cars ready to die there in the traffic for this argument of somebody just blocking. So we are frustrated. We are sitting on a powder keg. This is an explosive scenario that we live in. So you wake up in the morning, you can be led, your mood, who you are, can be decided by your environment, by your circumstances. Or you could decide with intention that the day is not going to happen to me, I will happen to the day.
That's right. The day will not happen to me, how will happen to the day. Talking about being intentional, 10,000 steps for those of us who are in EPAC. Let's cultivate the habit of no elevator day. Use the staircase more often. Can we do that? From 3rd floor to 4th floor, don't use the elevator, use the staircase. From 8th to 9th floor, staircase. Can we do this? We can. Yes, that's cool. All right. Please, let's start getting our questions together so we can just take it all to once and for all. For those of us online, send your questions in. Auntie Betty, I have this question. While you were talking earlier, you said you had an abusive relationship with Genevieve. Because, nobody tells you about what the kind of burnout you experience when you become an entrepreneur. Yes, we're bankers, but after we're done with this, we'll all become entrepreneur one way or the other. How do you avoid not being in an abusive relationship with the pet project, with your nest program, whatever it is we want to do next, where we all leave what we're doing now? What should we look out for so that we don't have an abusive relationship with that place?
I think, first and foremost, I wanted to do Genevieve for like 2 years. Is it on? It's on. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so I wanted to I looked at my life and I said to myself, when I go now, what will people remember me for? And quite honestly, if I didn't do Genevieve, I won't be here. And I looked around and I said, we have Soft Cell magazine, we have a fashion magazine. Let me do lifestyle. First, we were working on a low budget. We had no business starting that business with the kind of money, with capital we had. But I kept thinking that it would get better. And it didn't get better. And we didn't have the money to hire the best. We didn't have money to hire the best. So every day, every edition of Genevieve that came out was a labor of love. We had very little money to employ the best, and Nigeria was flogging us. We lost magazines. There was a whole conspiracy out there with distributors. And they called the shot. I didn't realize that. Sometimes they say to you, I want this person on the cover. And we're saying we can't be putting celebrities on the cover from edition to edition. You want to see all the slay queens you want. So we wanted to put women, role models, people whose stories could inspire and change your thoughts. And those editions didn't do well at all. They didn't do well at all. And it was a moment of realization. And I gave everything, physically, mentally, to Genevieve. And what did I get in return? I got a lot of, Auntie Betty, you inspired me to do this. Auntie Betty, because of Genevieve, I did this. Oh, Genevieve, I grew up reading Genevieve. But was it worth it? initially, yes, the glamour, I love the glamour. I'll come and like, Auntie Betty, I'll be like, hey, red carpet, I was there, the invitations, whining and dining with celebrities, having this larger than life. But it wore off. Genevieve beat me. And I really, really do not want that for anybody. When they say, oh, I'm going in because of the passion. Lie. Passion won't pay your bill. So have passion with sense. So initially I was like, oh, I'm passionate. Passion didn't pay the bills. We were owing. We couldn't be the best that we were. And I had so many people reach out to me, like, we want to invest in Genevieve. And then they would rush me, we would prepare documents, and they would go silent on me. I would now be racing and calling them, are you guys still interested? They moved on. And I had so many people who I felt, okay, they will take this load off me, they will invest money, then we can give the best. Doing that struggle for 18 years with mental illness. That was an abuse. Self-abuse on my part. Because honestly, you see this thing motivational speakers tell us about, don't quit. Quit with your full chest. That's how I'll be dead now. I've committed suicide. Don't quit. Reinvent. If it's not working, John Toriolong. I was like, no. Because my editorials were strong, morning dew, powerful. You can do it. You can. I was telling people they could do it. I couldn't do it. So it took me down. So it was a labor of love. I gave so much. What did I get in return? I got a lot. Genevieve taught me gratitude. And everything I felt I lost to depression, to Genevieve and everything, I've gained them back. All the money I lost, and I have to take some of the blame. I did not self-develop. At every stage of your business, every stage of your success, as you're climbing up the ladder, develop. Old ways can work with new, you always need to show up. So I didn't have time. I was busy with Genevieve 100% to go and self-develop. And don't forget that I didn't have any formal education in journalism. No, I started my career at the Concord. I was looking for a job because I'm a writer. I got that. After that, I went to Sci magazine. Please don't do that to yourself. And then you know that when we started, it was all manual. Flash this down, flash that, so it was very difficult. So it took me down. And by the time I realized that I could have quit or reinvent or cried out for help, I'd already lost it. So please, you see this thing we call passion. There should be levels. Let's be passionate with sense. And what's going to kill you? Please, pull out gradually. And it all applies to relationships and friendships. You can't be giving all the time. You burn out. The stress will kill you. So Genevieve, my friends have told me, Auntie Betty, don't be ungrateful to God. Genevieve opened ways for you and doors and opportunities. For those, I'm grateful, and I will always be grateful. But looking back now, there were times I should have asked for help or just shut down and tried to look for solutions. So please don't do that to yourself. If you're happy where you are and you can grow where you are, don't let them sell entrepreneurship to you when you're not ready and you don't have the capacity.
Thank you very much, Auntie Betty. So, Dr. Guna, this is a question for you. Sadness is an emotion. How do we differentiate between being sad and being depressed?
Okay, let me say this. Sadness is an emotion we all experience. However, for us, depression is beyond being sad. Okay, let me break it down this way. With depression, there are other components. Depression is not just sadness alone. Depression may be suggestive if you have sadness that have persisted for at least 2 weeks, 14 days. Something happened and I'm a bit sad. That's okay. But at the point where the sadness persists, and beyond, by sadness, I mean you're unhappy for that long, minimum. In addition to that, you experience low energy levels. You could experience loss of interest. So you find that you lose interest in things you would normally take pleasure in. I no longer hang out with friends. My appetite is low for food, for other things. That may be suggestive. So while you're dealing with the low mood, you're also dealing with the low energy levels, the loss of interest, and some other factors, as much as having poor sleep. And not often do you see, some people don't even realize that they are sad. So what do they present with? They present with always fatigued. I'm always tired. I do very little and I feel exhausted. That's one. They could present with sleep issues. So you don't even know what the core problem is, but you just say, my sleep pattern has changed. I wake up much earlier. I'm unable to go back to bed. Or you could even tell us that you've been worrying a lot and you overthink everything. All that as suggestive of a depressive illness. But unfortunately, what we see in clinical practice are people who would rather go to the physician repeatedly. So you see a colleague, you see a staff who is always similar symptom. I feel unwell. I feel unwell. I'm always weak. I'm always tired. So they keep presenting to the physician who, after all the investigations, repeated tests, treatment for this and that, when they get tired, they say, you know what, I need to refer you to the next level. We need you to see a specialist. That's most likely suggestive of a depressive disorder.
Thank you very much, Doctor. So, Maji, I have this question. You can't talk about fitness without us talking about nutrition, the kind of food you eat, and stuff like that. You know, we're carbo in this part of the world, a lot of carbohydrates. What kind of food should we focus on, should eat more of, if we want to be fit and, have wellness in total? What kind of...
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question, actually. Food is a major stumbling block for most people. Majority of people, the problem is food. And, as another organization, I know you have these conferences that go on. You might have a cafeteria. You might see the food options in your cafeteria. The salad section is usually full. Nobody takes from there. But the main food, the carbs, that's where they carry food. And I see some of the amounts of food that people pack on their plates. The mountain of rice or the 4 wraps of swallow. I'd expect to be productive after that. How is that even possible, considering how much you've just eaten? And you know why you're probably eating so much? Because maybe you didn't have breakfast. You just got out, got into your car, and moved, went to work early. And your first meal of the day is about 11, 12 o'clock. By then, you're almost so hungry you can't think straight. And you'll eat anything in front of you, whatever is near. Maybe you're out marketing. Is it gala you'll pick up? What's the nutritional value there? The point is, busy lifestyles, unintentional living, not planning, all leads to poor food choices. So the thing is, I can tell you the types of food that you should eat, but if you haven't decided that that's what you're going to do, you're not going to do it. Same way I can tell you all the different ways you can do exercises. You can do some squats, do this routine in the morning. But if you're not going to do it, if you don't want to do it, if you haven't decided you're going to do it, you won't do it. So there's no point. It starts here. It starts in your mind. It starts with a decision that I'm going to start eating better. Okay? Limiting thoughts, limiting self-beliefs is where the problem is. There's no point in complaining that you're not sleeping enough, right? If you get into bed and you start pressing phone for 1 hour, saying I can't sleep, but you're not, are you actually trying to sleep or are you trying to press your phone? And, you know, if you think about how damaging not sleeping enough is, then you'll start to think about it a little differently. If you're trying to lose weight, okay, let me use that as an example, and you're finding your workouts, you know, maybe you're not working out enough, maybe you're not doing the right things, maybe you're not eating right, okay? But if you're not sleeping enough, your body releases cortisol, stress hormone, which actually makes you bloated and put on weight. Lack of sleep, increased weight. So you see how you're now sabotaging yourself. The point I'm making, okay, I know this is a food question, is that the types of food that you should be eating starts with eating with intent. Okay, planning your meals. Plan ahead. It's not difficult to do that, but understand that food is medicine first. Our diets, our oil-based diets, oil, red oil especially, is inflammatory. Okay? It causes inflammation in the body. And what does inflammation in the body lead to? Development of cancer. Okay? Cancer. That's deep. That's serious. But the way that we behave within ourselves in terms of rather, we'd like to bury our heads in the sand rather than go for checkups. Men go for checkups. Early detection. Understand how connected development of disease is to what you eat. If you know that food is medicine, then you start to make better food choices. Food, good food, the sweet ones, the things we enjoy are treats. It's a reward system. But again, it goes back to the survival mindset. I want to survive beyond my expected lifespan. I don't want to, is diabetes in your family? You can reverse it by the food choices you make, by how active you are, by how much sleep you're getting, by how much stress you're letting inside your body, inside your soul. Okay? Intentional livings. So again, make the right food choices. Unravel, first of all, the types of food you should be eating. You know, first of all, when you're eating, the timing of when you're eating. If you're getting home from a long day at work, you sat in traffic, you're not getting home till 9:30 p.m., 10 p.m., and you're eating dinner at 10:30, quarter to 11, and then lying down and knocking. You're not helping yourself. You are not. That is where the problem starts. It starts with your mindset. Make the right food choices. So, plan your days, plan your weeks ahead. Sunday evening, instead of jonesing, think about what's your week's meal, what your week's eating is going to be like, and plan it. Even if you can only plan as far as the day in front of you, plan it. You know what kind of day you're going to have. You can meal prep if necessary, but just start treating food like medicine. Vegetables, unavoidable, necessary. Reduction in how much oil you're using in cooking food. I had to intervene in my own kitchen because my cook is trying to kill me. He's trying to take me down with the kind of oil he uses in making food. I just couldn't. I walked in there one day and I thought, what are you doing? Fried food is, it's about as, you've got to limit when you have it. That's just the point, okay? So manage your portions. You do not need to eat as much as you do. I promise you that. I started intermittent fasting and it's been amazing. It's changed the way I sleep. It changed the way I poop. Sorry, but we all poop, right? But there are people in here that might not have pooped in the last 3 days. Food choices. I look around the room. I don't see one bottle of water. Are we hydrating enough? In the takeaway packs for later, right? Not now. It's supposed to be now. Are you hydrating enough? Are you drinking water? You should be going to the bathroom like every half hour, because that's how much you need to be hydrating. Do you know when I told you I had kidney stones, right? They tested it. Do you know what was the cause of my kidney stones? Not hydrating enough. Too much salt in my diet. That's what salt. We like salts. We don't like water. There are people that will sit there and tell you, I can't drink water. It's bitter, no taste. I can't drink water. Like, God has given us nature's medicine in water. It has given us medicine in our food, and we abuse it, which is why we develop lifestyle diseases. Change the way you look at food, okay? It's your health plan. That's
Thank
it.
you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so do we have questions in the audience? Can I see a show of hands? All right, I have two this way. I would need help with this. And if you have questions online, please keep them coming. So, oh yes. And then Auntie Betty would like to meet people later. So if you want to see her, first 10. So I'm going to go down now and just ask the questions that we have. Okay?
All right. I know meant about Gen Z and how say that millennials and Gen Z are more health than the people ahead of us. And so we're finding a little with the elder ones looking at us as lazy. So you find your subordinate not replying their emails or not being. I know Dr. Naya mentioned physical attributes to mental health illnesses. But I think that some of the some of the symptoms we can see is not attending to your emails, not having the same zeal. So how do you advise the older generation to be more receptive, or how do they add younger generation?
Thank you very much. Auntie B, okay, doctor, do you want to answer that, or Auntie B? The question, let me just summarize it. So Gen Z and the millennials, from what she said, are more aware of their mental status than people who are older. People like people who are older. And then this example of someone not responding to the emails and all.
of any day in your life is an opportunity to turn your life around, to take control of things. And it starts with your perspective. A lot of things about stress management, about dealing with depression, is about perspective and the way you think. And that is in your control. What third-party help does is literally just ask you questions about you, but it's still down to you as the individual to change your perspective about the way you see the issues that you're dealing with, the problems you may have. It's on you, ultimately. And the truth is, most of us are going to have to deal with this alone. That's the reality check. So it's better to work on the self-help and how to deal with things on your own.
Okay, just to quickly add to what Made said regarding the exercise, I understand where your question was coming from. One mistake people make, you can sit in your house the whole year, you are inactive. The day you hear Ecobank is doing a marathon, you join them. You join them, not knowing your level of fitness. I am sure the exercise fitness experts will tell us that even if you want to resume with exercises, you slowly build up your stamina. I cannot not exercise for 2 years or 6 months and expect to do a 1-hour jogging. I may get fatigued. So sometimes people don't consider all this and they fail to look at their health status. As a fitness, you also understand the relevance of all your medical, your blood pressure, what your heart levels, and what the signs are. So there are things where your doctors would even recommend and say minimal. You can't do vigorous exercises. So that's an answer to your question. Dr. David's question. You see, I need people to understand, if you take nothing away from this discussion today, I need you to understand, we know, even the man or the woman who you drive past and you see on the express road, who is seated there, tattered, everything, with the right treatments, you'll be amazed when next you see them. Yes, it's not a lost case. I always tell people that if those people have an opportunity to get help. At the same time, I don't want you to think that every time you have a mental illness, it means you have lost touch with reality. There are 2 categories of mental. If we needed to classify this, there are 2 categories of mental illness. There's what we call neurosis. There's what we call psychosis. If we say 1 in 4 of us seated here, 1 in 5 has a mental health condition, I am not saying you have schizophrenia. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is most likely in a workplace like this, I would expect to see anxieties. I would expect to see mild forms of depression, what have you, sleep issues. All those are mental health challenges. Do you understand? And so, majority of the population we see, people we live with, people we work with, they have what we call neuroses. Oh, I have insomnia. It's been on for 6 months, doctor. Hey, I get very anxious, anxiety. We have less than 20 or 10% being psychotic. Psychotic is that point where you lose touch with reality. Your cognition is affected. You're hallucinating. Not many people get there. And so, as far as mental health is concerned, my mental health today may not be my mental health in 1 month from now. What is key for us? Key is awareness. Why do you self-medicate? You know you haven't been sleeping well. We could attribute it to a factor. You may walk into a session with me and I say, okay, you're not sleeping well. This is what we need to do. Can you drop those pills you're buying? What we need to do, like Made said, stop this phone. Your lifestyle is the reason why you're not sleeping. Who tells you you must be sending chats in bed? As simple as sleep hygiene, your problem is solved. You know, depending on the level. And he said something. I have people walk into my consulting room and it's clear that you have anxiety. What is anxiety? Excessive worrying, palpitations, always, for some people it's back aches, for some people it's funny symptoms, heaviness of the head, tightness of the head. Depending on the severity, I know, okay, this is anxiety we are dealing with. Who says I need to put you on anti-anxiety medications? No. All I recommend, can you try and exercise a little more? All I tell them, can you do like 30 minutes exercise? Please don't hit the gym and start flexing, showing yourself. Start in your immediate environment. 30 minutes work alternate days. And then they come back and they say, Dr. Naya, wow. Somebody walked into my office and said, you're not a typical doctor. And I said, who is a typical doctor? I said, a typical doctor in Nigeria. Before you finish your complaint, chiki, chiki, chiki. they're almost ready to kick you out of that consulting room. And so the typical Nigeria, they expect an injection. They expect something. They will beg. They say, doctor, I need an injection. And I said, for what? And sincerely, majority of the cases I see, one session and CB, and I'm getting a thank you message. It's an awareness, it's a wake-up call that you are able to be self-aware. You are able to know, no, I've been thinking like this in a certain way for too long. I need to correct this. I need to be speaking with someone. And when it comes to what we do, it's more of supportive. Trust me, if you take the right steps, we will never get to the point where you have a disorder. When we say mental disorder, it means that things are not going right. There's dysfunctionality happening. So whatever is going on with my thinking, my feeling, or my behavior, it's now a disorder because it's affecting my relationship with Auntie B. I'm avoiding Auntie B. I'm getting suspicious. She's trying to kill me. It happens everywhere, even in churches. Or that's a disorder, or you're functioning, you are not able to give to work as expected. It's affecting your relationship. Then is deviating to a problem, a disorder. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we have a final word from Auntie B? I'm so sorry. We could go on and on with questions, but before we go, I would like you to just say a final word to us. After that, I'm going to be calling one of our executives to give the vote of thanks. And please, if you would like to see Auntie B afterwards, we have 10 tickets. First to get the 10 tickets, we'll see her immediately after this. The tickets are with a young lady called Tomisi. She's somewhere in the hall. Please look for the tickets, and then Auntie B is going to see you afterwards for the first 10 people. And also before we leave, the executive, when we're done, will be ushered out. Auntie B and the panels will be ushered into the green room. The rest of us, please wait behind to collect our package, which includes a bottle of water, by the way, just so you know. Auntie B, your final word. Thank you.
Wow. Every time I get invitation to speak like this, it's so therapeutic for me. I love where I am in my life now, the stage I am. And I think most of the things I went through prepared me for this, because this seemed to be the season of my life that I've always wanted. I wouldn't say I like the process that brought me here. I'll be lying. You know, when people ask and say, do you have any regrets? You'll be like, no, I don't have regrets. I have regrets. I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I went through. But there's something I want to leave everybody with here now. It's the spirit of gratitude. Oh my God. It's the spirit of gratitude. When we thank God for what we have now, I think God will do more for us. Some of us do not appreciate some of the things that God has given us. We want more. I learned coming out of depression, and when I'm getting into an anxious place, I immediately begin to thank God for what I have. I want more, but I am so grateful. I start my gratitude with, God, I woke up this morning. When you've been to the pits, when you've been down there, when you had no hope, you would appreciate what it means to just wake up in the morning and not ask God for anything. So please practice gratitude and then choose your lifestyle. What works for you? I, for instance, my last meal is about 7 p.m. I have my breakfast. And I make conscious, especially now that everybody's doing remote work, I love to go out. I take myself out to Erikeza. I have tea with myself. I love my own company. I go to the spa. I don't like going to the gym much, but I have my dogs and I run them up and down the stairs. And then I do praise worship. I'll be singing and screaming and dancing. I love to dance. So when we talk about exercise, it's not, you don't have to go to the gym. What do you love to do? Walks. Just walk around. I think the tragedy is when you don't do anything at all. And then I want you also to appreciate that wherever you are now, it's not your last bus stop. Whatever you're going through, it's not going to define you. Don't allow things that are temporary to define the rest of the journey. And I think sometimes when we travel through life, we do not appreciate the views. We just focused on the journey and when do we arrive. Appreciate life and choose what makes you happy. Choose the company you want to be seen in. And it's very important, you know, the decision we make about our life partners is going to perhaps be one of the biggest decisions we'll make, who we want to spend the rest of our lives with. Because we have to, as much as possible, avoid that toxicity. Society makes it mandatory for us to be married at a certain time. But please, do not let the pressure of your age, of society, of your mother wanting to be a grandma, to push you into an early marriage or any marriage you're not ready for. Marriage could kill you. A bad marriage will take you down. You will lose your essence. Is that what you want to call marriage? Just for people to know you're married? Please, it's very important that you design your life. What do you want in your life? Who do you want in your space? Feel free to set boundaries. There are some people that were never meant to be in your space. Set boundaries. I am saying these things because I had to learn how to set boundaries, how to choose me over everything else. And in this day of pursuit for money, please be very careful. Be very careful. You know, when people say that money doesn't make you happy, I read on social media, let me have the money first. But there are so many things that can make you happy while you're waiting for what you've put on your bucket list. You know, choose yourself. Make yourself happy. You see all this conversation about, I want somebody to complete me, when you're not even complete by yourself. You want to be a baggage to somebody. And it's very, very important. Please, financial empowerment for the woman is very crucial. I've seen people stay in relationships because they have no choice. And you say to them, they said, I'm so used to living with this man in Ikoyi. When I leave, I'll now go and live in Ajagbandi. Find happiness in that Ajagbandi. Rather than, I know someone, you know, and I was surprised when she said to me, you want me to go back to my mother's house? In the meantime, she was in an abusive relationship. She said, no, I will manage. Please, life is not meant to be managed. Life is supposed to be fulfilling. Find joy wherever you can find joy. And don't measure your success by the other person's success. Things are not always what they seem like. So you know your truth. Stand on your truth. And most importantly, let's all be human together. We are beginning to lose that thing that made us human. We don't care about people again. It's like next. And I'm so happy for the opportunity to share this. And I would like to thank Majay and Naya. And I hope that together we've given you a fresher perspective on mental illness. And I hope that when you leave here, we don't want to see you next September and then we'll now start again. And then you've done nothing. Please design your life. You deserve better. You deserve more. And you need to be more for yourself. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Drops mic.
Hello? Thank you. Before we have the vote of thanks, I'm going to ask 3 people to go up stage quickly and have pictures with you. Carol, B, and Korede, please, quickly.
to have pictures with our panelists, and afterwards, BU will take a vote of thanks. I will close for the day. Thank you.
It's all over social media. Guess what? Alternate set.
Sorry, Dr. David, sorry. Forgive me. Doctor, sorry. That's an appraisal issue. Forgive me. How could I have? Oh my goodness.
Deposits all on a light but robust platform. And whenever you need a helping hand, our loans are readily available to support your financial aspirations, salary or merchant advance, mortgages and asset finance. Ecobank accounts. Designed to help you manage your finances through all the phases of life and business.
Let's give them a round of applause, please. A rousing one. I want to believe that we have all learned a lot from this session that we had. When Bumi was going around asking for those, that she was going to reach out to those dressed in green to ask regarding what the expectations are. I thought I was dressed in green, and she didn't come to me. What my expectation was, and if you don't mind my saying it now, was to have possibly a better understanding of the extent of the definition of mental health issues. Because some of the things that we hear, some of the things that we see, will get paralyzed with fear if we are not careful as to what to define as mental illness and what is not. And when Dr. Naya was talking about the different levels, psychiatry, psychology, therapy, psychosis, neurosis, I knew we all had to go to school all over again. But thank you also very much. It's good to hear professionals speak in terms that you can relate to. It helps you to believe that you're still holding it together. Because there are times, quite frankly, when things get tough and you look to your right and to your left and you wonder what to do. And Auntie Betty, thank you for sharing. It's very cheap to learn from other people's experience. You don't have to go through things before you learn. And if we are blessed enough to have someone open up and share details of their experiences with us, we had better learn and be better. And I think I've learned today. And I'm better in some ways. I know there are some people here who must think I have psychosis in the course of work also. Because we have to deliver. And they are here, they are looking, they are wondering. Sure, you see, that's what we are telling you. We are hearing. We are hearing. And we hope we are all learning. And we hope the psychosis reduces to neurosis. And as we all achieve together, it disappears entirely. And my bros, my J, you know when you walked in, I looked and like, okay, fitness person, because I was wondering what we did that made them bring. And then at the second time again, I said, you see, this is what I always wanted to look like. But see me here. See me here. See what I've become. So we'll keep working at it. I think we can all do better. We've been challenged from the exercise perspective. One thing that you said that I found very profound. Exercise is the route for the to the body to connect with the mind. Very profound. Some people think it's pepper soup. Some people think it's alcohol. For some people, maybe it's drugs. But exercise is cheaper. And it's totally within your control. And it's something that we all need to access, because we have to access our minds. And if we don't, our minds go astray and our bodies do different. So all in all, I think we have had a very fruitful afternoon. And the last point that you made on marriage, I recommend a good marriage to everyone. It's the best thing you can do for yourself, just as a bad marriage is the worst one. So let's fix that area of our lives as well. Because usually when you're looking right and left, it's your life partner that is at your first call. And if you don't get that right, you're really and truly on your own. God help all of us. It's been a wonderful afternoon. Thanks to all our organizers, specifically who represented us, Ecobank, in putting this together. You've done a great job. We couldn't have had better panelists. And Bumi, well done. And I think we should all be jealous of the 10 people that will still speak with Auntie Betty this afternoon. I think we should know who they are so that we can consult them as well afterwards. Thank you all so very much. A round of applause again for our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause for yourself, please. So please, policy is going to be standing somewhere in the hall. I need you to move around. We are not sitting. So if you get any of the 10 tickets, you get to speak with and present. Sir? Random, yes. You get to get any of the 10 tickets, get to speak with directly afterwards. So please, random if you want. So the rest of us can sit down while Wellbeing. Please, can we get back up? You can go offline now. We're done. This one. Okay. All right.